Yeah,
Oh, better.
yeah,
Thanks for
yeah.
asking.
I mine was not so bad. It's like I don't know, it's different or different. It's like first time I got it was the worst, and every time after that, it's been not so.
You got, I'm on my round three.
I think four times so far. The COVID right at the beginning of February.
2019.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got
but
it now?
COVID 24.
Yeah, because I call it COVID-19 because it was the year.
So
Since I ever figured that out, I'm kind of slow again. COVID brain. Yeah, over. No, I won't do that. All right. Well, thanks for coming. I know it's family and work and all that stuff. It's a lot of moving parts. Yeah, I won't be able to make it for a couple of weeks.
Oh,
She emailed me and said that she still has a certain schedule, but weeks start. So
okay.
uh, we'll probably pop on in a minute. Michelle just now completed the chapter 15, putting the collation together. I think she finished it this morning,
Okay.
but she got the whole chapter done, which is cool. I think I'll
How
go
are you
ahead.
feeling?
Oh, pretty good. Right? I mean, it's such a weird thing. You don't even know how you're feeling.
No,
That's
you were
how
not.
weird this
You
thing.
were not. You were not. You were sick last
Yeah.
week.
And not,
Okay.
but, it's an energy
Talking
thing.
about the physical part.
Yeah, but it's an energy, which is
Yes.
physical and a weird one. It's a weird one.
Is that what it was? Oh, I didn't know. Boy, still there.
Still thing in society apparently. It's with How did the link work today?
Fine.
Okay, just in the email and just click it and it worked fine.
Yeah.
Or last season. Yeah. So I was just wondering if Jim and Michelle were having trouble. Michelle sent me this correlation, and then she said in her email, "See you soon." So I'm just wondering if they're having trouble. So
No problems this time. I just clicked on it and it came. made in the jewel and the lotus. And he says it is in the supreme Brahman, eternal mind and eternal substance, brewed in sublime communion. Infinite thought is at one with infinite potentiality. And that's one of the most beautiful things that could even be thought of. If anyone has any comments about the beginning of chapter 15, then I guess we could just get started.
पर्णानि यस्तवेदस वेदवित्. Sri Bhagavan spoke, they, the scriptures, speak of the imperishable Ashwatha tree, with its roots above, Urdhva its branches below, and with Vedic hymns as its leaves. He who knows it is a knower.
That the Ashwatha, the eternal sacred tree, the Vedas, with reference to sacred as a symbol for the universe, which, although destroyed and renovated, is never, for it is the evolution.
From Thomas Carlyle, is not every leaf of it a biography, every fiber there an act or word, are histories of nations. The rustle is the noise of human existence. From a whole, it's there, the breath of passion, rustling, resistance, what is doing, what will be done. The infinite conjugation of the verb to do.
Thank you. It does seem that this idea of the tree is universal, isn't it? The stream of evolution. Taps into the nutrition.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Though, what about the Vedas of the leaves?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Become aware of that in us, which is changing any from it spring forth a knowledge and an insight.
Just reading about and it says that it's sacred function entire is like a suspended bridge divine all beings is itself expressed throughout the gamut of all existence. I think the and different things that don't live. Just they live up there, and nobody had any idea about them until they started. Canopies.
That's
Isn't there a reference to the in the quote on the great sacrifice from in the Secret Doctrine? Doesn't she mention a metaphor of a tree there?
I had a second computer. I looked that up for you.
I can go look, maybe. Secret.
Yeah, that is the way that the great sacrifice manifests, coming to unmanifest, and then it differentiates out in truth and teachings.
Yeah, doesn't you say the same thing in that footnote? That it's a symbol for the
Yeah.
Ashwatha tree.
It's only apparently destroyed, and then it comes back. It's never
Mhm.
ending.
Well, there's that. Like, from the old church, but it's a long, 3 or 4 pages in the jewel taken from this about the being that sits in the entirety of manifestation and describe all these changes and all the eons that he's existed there. It's quite a remarkable.
That I could find really fast.
On page 406 of the Secret Doctrine, Volume 1,
Yeah.
when she's talking about symbols, she says tree, serpent, and crocodile worship. That's the section. Page 4, the beginning, as a gift for immortal being, the tree and the serpent were divine imagery. And the tree was reversed, and its roots were generated. Shot out crossways, luxuriant, hardly and down till they touched the terrestrial plane. Thus, the Ashwatha, tree of life and being, whose destruction alone leads to is said in the Bhagavad Gita. So when she quotes from the Bhagavad Gita, to grow with its roots above and its branches below. It is a very powerful symbol.
the outset, it seems that we're getting
Loke.
Below and above, its branches spread outwards, nourished by the gunas, while its roots outwards, generating bondage through action in the world of men.
its branches growing out of the three qualities, with the objects of sense as the lesser shoots, spread forth, some above, some below, and those roots which ramify below in the regions of mind are the connecting bonds of action.
From the Anugita, one who does no action and who has no desire. This universe is transcendent, like an Ashwatha tree, always full of birth, death, and old age.
In one chapter, or this chapter, as it's starting, we correlated with page 200 of the Sacred Doctrine.
Okay.
Because the now the right, and all below that are the things that she talks about.
So
The cosmic tree, huh?
and then you have the four planes that are semi-manifested on that diagram.
Yeah.
The highest one is the archetypal. They point out that that's not the plate types.
Yes.
Some kind of archetypal. And then the next down, I forgot there's a creative, and they got the other three coming down.
Yeah.
Into play.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. She talks. Yeah. The archetypal, she says, is not the Platonic archetype. Then she talks about the intellectual or creative world. Then the substantial or formative world, and then we come to the physical material world, the Prithvi. Yeah.
Very much seems correlatable.
Yeah.
And then finally, you have creating the bond action in the world.
Mhm.
Or something.
Yeah. I think it's a very profound page and it's a very difficult page to understand.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And in Doctrine and Dialogue, so this thing from the Anugita, it's like saying one who does no action and who has no desire, so they're not invested in anything. They're saying the person can just look on this whole universe like this tree that's always changing. Look at this tree and it's coming and going, always changing. And somehow you don't get caught up in it. And apparently this transcendental one with the Supreme Spirit apparently requires that capacity to just look on and just behold the cycles as they come and they go, like standing on the beach.
It almost seems like from the first one and the transition to the second one. First one is speaking about the roots above, and then it's like it's flipped. The roots stretch downwards.
Yeah,
Mhm.
what's up with the roots going downwards now? They were
Yeah.
going upwards.
I wonder if he's kind of speaking about the unmanifest, the imperishable Ashvata tree, and then the perishable. The two
Oh.
aspects of spirit. If you call it aspects.
Oh. And
Below and above, right? Some above, some below. In the,
Now it's nourished by the hands.
in Prakriti, it's nourished in nature.
Perishable Krishna,
Yeah, there's
perishable Krishna.
yeah, that's gonna be in what we're gonna do that. Yeah, that is a thing. Okay, so with this tree, right? This upside down tree thing. All right. Not that we can come to conclusions, but just to kind of put that out there,
yeah.
Thanks, Michelle, for uncovering that, unearthing those roots.
I don't know. When I was going through doing this document, I got to the end, and then now reading this again, it just reminded me of it.
Yeah, that double Purusha thing. Is that towards the end? Anyway, we'll get to it. But yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, let's just go to it. For now, perishable. Perishable is all high. Just in the imminent, it seems.
Yeah, in Judge's version, says there's two kinds of beings.
Hmm. Yeah, this idea that okay.
Yeah, that's in the Sanskrit. In the CGP one,
Sto akshara.
Okay, so something's up with that. Okay. Hopefully we'll crack this nut here. Okay. Here's something else too. Eternal mind and eternal substance, brood, blind, infinite thought with infinite potentiality. So that's kind of a duality too, but in this sublime unity somehow. So what if you look at number 3 here?
What
know,
does it say? I just have a little question about that footnote. Judge says, see preceding chapter, because we were talking about the three qualities. Is that why he's mentioning it?
so.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the
Okay.
previous chapter is all about the discrimination.
Ah, that's why it's talking about that. Okay. I was just curious. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We can go to the third one. Take it. Wow. Racing along today.
Oh yeah.
Tato fate na anto na dircha sampratishtha shvatam enam suvirudhamulam asanga shastrena dridena chitva.
Form is not thus apprehended here, nor its end or beginning, nor its foundation. Cut asunder this firmly rooted ashvata, the powerful acts of non-attachment.
Its form is not thus understood by men. It has no beginning, nor can its present constitution be understood. Ego cannot, nor has it any end. Hath hewn down with the
You want me to do the correlation?
yeah, if you don't mind.
Unless man is determined to cut himself off from the temptations of the world of sense, he will be
Mar
Ashtivatra.
Ashtavakra.
Uh-huh. Free art thou from modifications, independent, calm, without dimension or form, imperturbable, thy nature unimaginable intelligence. Know thyself to be pure consciousness.
So the last one, Gandhi is saying, unless you can cut yourself off from the temptations of the world, of sense, we're going to go deeper into its fire every day. And this one, he's saying, that we're really pure consciousness. Well, that's not he's saying, it's the eight, right?
Kragi. Ashtavakragi.
And Bakra?
I don't know. Vakra sometimes can mean something strange, something out of the ordinary. So I don't know what it means. It's the way I interpret vakra. Unless it's something to do with shape. The problem with that is for that word.
What to do?
I think this is why it seems like it's two, like a mirror of these two trees, because the first shloka is saying that it's an imperishable ashwatha tree.
At it. How are we looking at it? You know, with the book is reality. It is reality. You know, what do we mean by reality? Depends where you are, right? So yeah, there could be two kinds of ashwatha tree, or there could be 100 kinds of tree.
Okay, so this one here, a little bit having trouble being convinced that I have to drop this tree down. Form is not understood from the beginning, and even as present in the Constitution can't really be understood, nor does it have any end. So then from that sentence to the next sentence,
this Aswatha tree. So it's really, it's talking about saying, okay, this tree is very mysterious and we can't really understand it. But whatever it is, you have to have dispassion in relationship to it. Because, and then when you have this tree with this, then you can take, there's a place that can be, you can take refuge in.
That is it. So that is in the next one, number 4. Okay.
I was trying to make the two blue sentences all one big sentence.
I understand. 3 and 4. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's a hard one. Let's see how this is 3 and 4, right?
Yeah. In other words, there's this mysterious tree.
Yeah.
You have to have, nobody understands it. You have to be dispassionate about it. That's the beginning and starting to, and it's a mystery. And then after through there take place, more return to rebirth. Oh, Jonathan's iPhone raised his hand.
Cutting off your attachments, not the whole tree.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because I guess half this tree is, growing in a manifested way, right? A Maya. So, that's the part that the acts of dispassion is there to, liberate or help liberate you from.
Okay. Yeah, because you could say that it's interesting that in the Jewel and the Lotus, in the first two preliminary readings before it goes into the readings on the chapter, it's divided into 7 groups. And one of them is called, has to do with transcendence. So that's the one near Guna Brahmankanda, right? And then there's another one called Sagvana Brahmankanda, which would be the eminence of deity. And that's got all kinds of readings that are like pantheistic kinds of readings about seeing deity in nature everywhere, right? But the transcendent one is a whole bunch of readings talking about transcendence. And I remember the first 2 readings for that whole thing set up the whole thing. One of them, what it is, the first one talks about how transcendent deity is. It cannot be understood. It can't really be spoken about. But the second one talks about something that happens with the individual as one becomes one with it. And my reason has to do with no longer identifying or emotion, where you're letting go of your previous identifications. Let's see, I don't know. I'm not sure that I could find it quick enough, but actually I probably could. And it's so telling to me. I'm going to do this thing. That's not what I want. Do this. Okay, the jewel. There it is. I try and try to basins for the cosmos and the shape of the cosmos. Universal and bow to thee, blissful
self, I bow to thee, O secrets. Be the secret of transcendent. Thou art beyond all thought and limitation. Thou art being and bow to thee. Then the next come out, you should come outside the realm of self, probably the lower self, I would think, and enter into the divine unity. For when you go beyond asking when and why, leaving the self, you enter without why and when. To me, that's like the yoga of the Supreme Spirit, where you leave the lower self and you enter, but without the terms and conditions that you've been putting on life all this time, in terms of your understanding of why and when. I don't know if that makes sense. That ties, I was trying to tie that with what Jonathan Tubby said. That, let me go back. Oh, it's transcendent. I'm not going to think about that. And I've been told that I can't talk about so, ideas about that. Not good. So I'll just put it on something. I think is saying that it moves one to think about the transcendent, to think about the begin in the unmanifest, and how it's the foundation of everything. That has a rejuvenating aspirin.
Hey, can I just comment about symbols?
Yeah, like trees.
Yeah, it's a power, right? So like in Western religions, all balls come with their dogma, right? This means this because of this, right? It closes off the identification self to that symbol, right? It's in a way that's it's like a closed space, right? Or closed, but a symbol is really open to the individual to step inside that symbol, find meaning, and relate to oneself, and that is, I think, more powerful. And that the symbol of the Swata tree, any other symbols, relate and hold it, draw a picture of it and say, this is what this means. And you're just dogmatic, prescribing of. And when we're talking about this, this particular higher self, aspire to the higher self. Cutting off is maybe the the you essentially you have a God, right? You're not separate from God,
Yeah.
right? Versus you got where men and
Church structure.
I'm wondering if, before I was thinking about this tree being associated with Purusha, but now I'm thinking it's more connected with Prakriti. Because you get this kind of description that the tree being nourished by the from the previous chapter, and this image of people getting lost among the branches of this huge tree that has no beginning, no end, and it's like we mistake the branch for the root of it. Or life after life, we get kind of lost on a tangent because of this identification and being bound to the world of this. And then in 3 and 4, it's like we have to cut off from what we thought was the source. We think that the material world is the source, and we have to cut off from that and seek the real source, which is the Purusha, the primeval Purusha, like he says in number 4. the material tree, the separate, and this whole time the tree is it's like it's not
Uh, so I don't even know. Do we? I mean, talking about the primeval Adi, when you say primeval, sometimes I wonder. When Michelle, you talked about the two trees, I was thinking of maybe one is the transcendental and the other is the. It could be that way. Beholder's eye. What is in what are we getting the roots kind of, it kind of laid a keynote there to say where our priorities should be, they are most of the time.
I think every symbol has its imminent aspect.
looking back on my initial statement of thinking about two trees. I think he's just speaking about the same tree actually, and because the Ashwata tree, because Prakriti is also
Absolutely.
But it could be the same tree, but the transcendent aspect and the imminent aspect.
Yeah, that was another day. This is what I mean. It's like looking at a painting and interpreting it in different. Nobody looks at the painting. Everybody doesn't look at it the same way.
That's the same thing with that that page 200 diagram.
Yes.
About how archetypal world is not the Platonic forms.
No.
Necessarily, because perhaps that's because even archetypes have their transcendent aspect and an imminent aspect.
Yeah, that's the Rupa. We're in the Rupa here, with all those four. And that's the Rupa and Platonic idea.
Because they're universal.
I truly think this chapter cannot be isolated verse by verse, like everything in the Gita. There's the story that is unfolding in each chapter. Because it's got how can I say it, a theme, and it follows the other in a kind of a flow. It's a song; it flows. So I think there are connections with chapters, connection within a chapter. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to just suggest that jump towards, I guess, maybe in the 13 by 14, where we were like reading the whole paragraph, or the whole chapter,
You want to do that next week? We'll just kind
Yeah,
of,
at the very beginning, it's only 6 minutes long
Yeah.
to read. Yeah.
Students about yeah, actually at the end, I believe 20, it says that the Gita is the entire teaching of the Gita Shastra has been summed up in this. The whole teaching of the Gita is here embodied.
wonder if we're struggling. All right. For help us get started with this. And chapter 15. Magnificent. Thank you.
Welcome.
Guys,
All right.
take
Thank
care.
you.
Okay.
Bye.